Hello, welcome to GH Maths Fundamentals. And today, we are going to look at additive inverse and multiplicative inverse. These are the most used principles in studying mathematics. Therefore, it is very important to understand them and build a solid foundation in your mathematics career as you prepare for your exams or embark on other things or just to explore mathematics in life. Firstly, what is additive inverse? An additive inverse is an integer or a variable that can be added to a given integer or variable to get a sum of 0. So simply put, if you are given a number, or it can be a variable, which means a letter, something that represents the unknown, when you are given such a thing, you look for a certain quantity that when you add the two, the answer should be 0. What about a multiplicative inverse? A multiplicative inverse also is an integer or a variable or anything that can represent a certain quantity, such that when we multiply those two, the product will be 1. So our main goal under multiplicative inverse is to get a product of 1. Sometimes it's also called reciprocal. Now, let us see an example of an additive inverse. You can be given an integer 2 plus dash. In this case, the blank space represents the unknown. The answer has to be 0. So, as you are learning, you are looking for a number that when you add that number to 2, it will give you a 0. So in this case, what number can we add with 2 or combine with 2 to get a 0? If you add negative 2 to 2, it will give you 0. Therefore, negative 2 is the additive inverse of 2 and vice versa. Additive inverse is used in the breathing mechanism. Did you know that? Let us explain it. As a person is breathing, you inhale and exhale, which means you breathe in and breathe out. Those are two opposite actions. Here is another one. Traffic lights. For those traffic lights to turn on and off, it means they have to go to 0. They are resetting, so to speak. What about multiplicative inverse or reciprocal? Let us see some examples. We are given a number 7 times the blank space, which can represent anything the unknown, or it can be a variable. It has to give us 1. Remember? Multiplicative inverse is anything that when you multiply the given number, it has to give you 1. So, what will be the multiplicative inverse of 7? From what we can see, we are looking for a number or an integer that we can multiply with 7 to give us 1. And that we see from there, it is 1 over 7. When you multiply 7 times 1 over 7, it will be 7 over 7. When you divide that fraction, you simplify it, it will be equal to 1. Man and a woman married together, they are said to be 1. Why? Because they are two opposites of each other. They complement each other. Therefore, a man and a woman who are married, they become 1 because they are inverses of one another. Okay, let's move on now. Why learn about additive and multiplicative inverse? Let us find out. We do this to find out the unknown quantities. Sometimes we are given problems to sort out, find the solution. We use that to find the unknown quantities. We also use additive and multiplicative inverse to find relationships between quantities. Once we understand the composition, how they relate to one another, it is easy to work them out in a perfect way. Another thing is to learn that any quantity is the complement of the other. Now, since we are talking about the unknown, we come now to equations and solving for the unknown. So an equation is just a simple mathematical sentence with an equal sign. So when you see an equal sign, just know that it's an equation there. And then an equal sign means the quantities on the left-hand side is the same in magnitude or size to the quantities on the right-hand side. That's what it means. If the left-hand side is changed, then the right-hand side also has to be changed by the same amount, because if they are not changed, they will not balance. Okay? Yeah, here's an example. We have 8 minus 2x is equal to 0. This means 8 minus 2x and the other side of the equal sign, they are equal. These quantities are equal. So if we tamper with one, we have also to tamper with that same amount on the other side of the equal sign. So now, what do we do next? Here we group like terms. We know that 8 and negative 2x, they are not like terms. Why? 8 is a constant, which means a number, and the negative 2x is an expression, which means it has a variable. So we have to group the like terms together, or we have to remove negative 2x from the side where 8 is. Remember, some people here, what they do, they try to remove 8, which is not good. As you can see, 8 is bigger than negative 2x. So if the variable you are looking for is negative, it's better to move it on the other side of the equal sign. Some people say, no, it has to be on the left side, the subject or the formula. No, that is not true. It's better you get the small amount, take it on the other side, okay? So what do we do to take 2 on the other side? This means we have to remove it this side. We have to remain with only 8. This means we have to negate that 2x, the opposite of negative 2x, which is the additive inverse of negative 2x is plus 2x. But since now this is an equation, whatever we've done on the other side, which is the left-hand side, we also do it on the right-hand side, which is we add a plus 2x. So what follows then when we do that? It will be 8 is equal to 2x. We've grouped the like terms together. Now, how do we remove the 2 from x so that we find that unknown thing which is represented by x? Remember, 2 and x, they are multiplying each other. So to remove 2, we have to use a multiplicative inverse of 2, which is 1 over 2. So when you multiply 2x times 1 over 2, since we are multiplying it on this side, whatever we've done on the other side, we have also to do it on the other side. So we also multiply 8 times 1 over 2 so that the equation balances. It's more like a beam balance. Once it balances, it will be 8 over 2. On the other side, will remain only with 1x. Therefore, 2 into 8 is 4. Finally, therefore, x is equal to 4. Okay? Stay well. Goodbye.